Welcome everyone to another episode of Fernandez Finds Adventure. And in today's episode, we are going to be doing a wiring diagram, and I'm going to show you how you can do one yourself for your projects and also when you might need to make one. So let's start off with the obvious question, do you need to do a wiring diagram? You know, the chances are you probably don't. If you're doing a basic install, something like UHF radio or driving lights or something like that, there's a very good chance that you don't actually need to do a wiring diagram. For more complicated projects, I would definitely recommend it. So when I'm talking about complicated projects, I'm talking about things like your lithium battery setup or your solar setup or you're installing a DC to DC charger. Things like that, a wiring diagram will come in very, very handy. It doesn't take very long to do a wiring diagram, and you'll probably end up with 2 or 3 different drafts, which is excellent because that's problem solving. So when you are doing these wiring diagrams, you're kind of going through a little bit of a visual, a little bit of a simulation about how you're going to be doing the actual project. So for me, when I did these wiring diagrams, I ended up with about 4 or 5 before I got to one where I was actually very happy with and that you will see today. One of the main benefits that I found from doing these wiring diagrams is it gives me a really good opportunity to see how I'm going to actually mount all of my, say, appliances or all my batteries and things like that. It gives me a really good idea before I actually go ahead and do it. But another thing is it also gives me an awesome opportunity to figure out what are the things that I actually need for the project before I even start it. From there, you can kind of figure out what parts and what little components you're going to need. Little things like battery terminals and fuse holders, that stuff all adds up. And if you know what you need to get before you actually start a project, you can kind of see whether or not the project is for you and whether or not it's going to set you back too much money and maybe you need to wait a couple of weeks before you can start it. One more thing I'll mention quickly is it's really good for trying to figure out how much of certain things you need. So for example, meterage of certain types or certain gauges of wire. You know, what gauge wire do you need? Well, that can be worked out pretty quickly by figuring out how much distance of wire it's going to take, say going between your solar panel to your solar regulator or from your regulator to your battery. You won't know how much wire you need until you figure that out. And wiring diagrams are really good for that. And it also helps you figure out as well and calculate what gauge wire you need. There are a whole range of calculators and diagrams out there that show you, but this is a really good starting point to get you started on your project. Okay guys, it's time to get creative. Let's get your pens, let's get your paper, and let's move you over here so you can see exactly what I'm doing so we can make an electrical diagram that won't burn down your car. So to begin our wiring diagram, we need to do a couple of things. The first thing is we need to figure out what is the size of the area we are working with so we can have a rough scale, and also what is the shape that we're working with too. This is important because we need to be able to show all of the wires and also the placement of your appliances, batteries, and things like that. So for today's purposes, we are looking at the solar setup that is in the back of the cab of my ute. So that's just going to be a rectangle. So now I've got my very rough rectangle drawn. I'm just going to start placing a few things. So I'm going to place my solar panel roughly towards the front of the car because I know that I'm going to have it on my roof racks that go across. Then I know I'm going to have a solar regulator. So I'm going to put my solar regulator just about here. Then I'm going to have my battery. So that's going to have to go in roughly about here. And I'm also going to have a fridge. And just roughly, it's going to go about here. So now I've got everything placed in the car, I kind of know roughly where things are going to go. So for example, I know that roughly this is going to be the back of the car, this is going to be the front of the car. Okay, so I will, just so that it avoids confusion, I will just write front and I'll also write back here as well. And I'm also going to start labeling a few things. So I'm going to label this as my solar panel. And I'm going to label this as my solar regulator. And I'm also going to label this as my battery. And I'm also going to label this as my fridge. So once I've done that, I need to try and figure out how it is I'm going to actually wire and where all the wires are going to go. So to do this, I'm going to enlist the help of a different color pen. Now, the red pen is going to symbolize the positive wire. So I'm going to start with all my positive wires first. Now, the reason why I'm doing that is because I actually need to be putting fuses on all of my positive wires. So when I go from my solar panel into my solar regulator, I am going to just do this, and then I'm going to put a little rectangle in there as well. Now, when I do that, I am just going to put a little arrow there, or a little sign just saying that that is going to be a 30 amp fuse. Now, a lot of these things, guys, with the fuses and stuff, it can be a bit tricky. I just did my research on whatever it is that I was trying to fuse. So when I fused my battery and my solar panel, I looked up to see what the best fuses were and what type of fuse I should be using, and my answers that I came up with for that is 30 amp fuses. So that's what I ended up going with. Now I'm going to use my black pen just to show that that's going to be my negative. So now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the wires between my solar regulator and my lithium battery. Now, these ones, it doesn't really matter how you do this, but for me, I know that I'm putting this into my headboard. So I will be putting the wires behind. So I am just going to just do a very basic wire here. And again, leaving room for a fuse, and that can go on one of the terminals there. Okay, and then that one's going to be another 30 amp fuse. And then I'm just going to go ahead and do my negative wire. And just to keep it nice and neat, I will try and keep it on the same side as well, just to try and make sure it all looks neat and tidy. Then I'm going to go from my battery to my fridge, and I'm just going to go ahead and use a 10 amp fuse. Again, from my research, that was the best size fuse to use. So I'm just going to go ahead and just wire that one in there. And then the negative wire as well. And by doing this, I know roughly how much wire I'm going to be using, and also where I need to be placing all of my fuses as well. So I'm looking at this now, and I can already see that I've made an error. And I'm not sure if anyone has picked it up yet, but if you have a look here at the placement of my fuses, you'll see that this one's okay. I'm happy with this because that just will mean that the fuse will be out of the weather. So that's fine. And it's close to my solar regulator anyway. So that's okay. But when you are doing your fusing, you have to make sure that it is close to or as close as possible to the power. So in this case, I actually put my fuse closest to the fridge, which is not going to be good. Okay. So I'm going to have to change that to putting it over here. Okay. And I'm just going to change that. So when I'm looking at this, I can see that now that I've got all my wiring sorted, that would actually save me a lot of hassle and a lot of heartache in the future, because if I went ahead and did that wiring little harness there, so I might have changed the proprietary fridge plug to have a fuse in it and also to have an Anderson plug in it, which is what I did. If I actually put the fuse in the wrong place, that could cause me a little bit of trouble in the future because it might not protect the fridge as much. And also too, when I'm making the wiring harness, after I finished with it, then I would probably realize that I should have put the fuse in a different spot. So that can save a little bit of frustration later on in the future. So now I've got my basic wiring diagram sorted, and it's not as neat as it would be normally because I'm kind of reaching over the camera here, but you can kind of see a little bit of what we need to do, right? You can kind of tell where you might come into some of the problems with routing the wires and things like that. So I know, for example, when I'm routing my cables going from my solar panel to my solar regulator, I won't be able to just go straight from here to my regulator. Okay, so I know that I will actually have to be going into the back of the car, so I'll probably actually end up having to go around to here into the back of the car and then probably put a grommet around there so it kind of weather seals it and things like that. Then my wires would actually be going into the solar regulator that way. So you start to get a little bit of a practical idea of how you want to be putting the wires into the car, and then you start thinking a little bit about some problems that you might run into so you can solve them before you actually do the job. So you could probably get it all done within a day. If you're having to constantly run into problems as you're doing it, and then you need to go out and get more wire and more fuses, and you put the fuse in the wrong spot and all these things, all that starts to add up, and then you end up doing it over 3 or 4 days when it could have been just a 1-day job. So from there, I would start writing a bit of a list of what I need. So then I would start writing things like, I would need 2 30-amp fuses, and I would also need a 10-amp fuse. Then I would also need 3 fuse holders. And now that I can see and get an idea of how far my wires are traveling, I can calculate things like voltage drop, which there are many calculators online for, but you can get a bit of an idea for how thick the wire is that you might need to use in your given project. So if you are going from, say, a solar panel to your solar regulator and you've got quite a fair distance, well, I'd be using 6-gauge wire for that. And there's heaps of diagrams as well online that tell you which gauge wire is appropriate for which distances. So I can kind of tell then that I will be needing some 6-gauge wire, and I'll probably end up needing, just to be safe, I might grab 3 meters of that. And that will give me some left over. Now I'll also as well, if I haven't picked up some of the things on here, like the solar regulator and the battery, I'll also need to consider including those in my list as well. So I'll need a solar panel, I'll need a solar regulator, I'll need a battery, and I'll also need any accessories that you need, like the fridge. So once that's finished, you've got your shopping list ready to go. You've got your wiring diagram, which will help you out, especially when you are making up these little harnesses, these little wires here with all the fuses and the fuse holders and all that sort of stuff. It makes life a lot easier, and you can kind of get a practical idea of how you're going to put together your awesome solar lithium setup or whatever it is that you want to do. Now I'm going to be doing a lighting setup around the outside of my Navara, mostly for camping, but it's going to have a few things in it, and I'm going to try and do something a little bit different that maybe hasn't been seen before, and try and be a little bit creative. And to do that, something like this is absolutely necessary. Otherwise, you're going to spend too much time trialing and erroring and doing that sort of stuff. So it's going to end up saving me a bit of time by doing a wiring diagram like this. Today's video was one of those things where I was just rattling around in my mind and I had to get it out. So basically it was, I wanted to know how to do wiring diagrams and something that actually made sense. It was simple to follow and something that I could do myself and make it custom for what I want to be doing. And so this is just kind of my way of just showing you guys that wiring diagrams aren't too complicated. If you make them yourself, it makes it a bit easier and you know what you're doing. It's not too difficult to do, and it can make your wiring systems a lot safer, and it can save you money in the long run. So if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you give it a like and you subscribe and you do all that good stuff. But also too, guys, we've got a heap of awesome content coming out very shortly, so make sure that you have those notifications on and keep a very close eye on YouTube for the next few weeks. It's going to be an awesome month. Also, one more thing, we're going back to Sunday upload, so make sure that you are checking your YouTube every Sunday, because there will be a video there from me. So I'll see you guys next Sunday. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next week.